Former head of state Yakubu Goan calls for removal of sanctions against Burkina Faso, Mali, Niger Republic. Troops kill mastermind of NDA attack others. Few queues return in Lagos as scarcity looms. And on the foreign scene, DR Congo Prime Minister resigns, government dissolved. Hello and welcome to Trust TV's News Update. I am Chiamaka Nwafo. Hello and welcome to the news. Now the news. Nigeria's former head of state, former General Yakubu Goan, has appealed to the authority of heads of state and government of the Economic Community of West African States, ECOWAS, to reunite Burkina Faso, Mali and Niger, which have indicated interest to quit the regional bloc. Goan, who was among the founding father of ECOWAS, stated this after visiting President Bola Tinubu at the presidential villa in Abuja. Here's the report. The former Nigerian head of state, General Yakubu Goan, while speaking with State House correspondents at the presidential villa in Abuja on Wednesday, said the meeting with the president centered on the challenges facing the Economic Community of West African States, ECOWAS. He said the current disagreement among member states must be settled amicably. The former Nigerian military leader debunked claims on social media that he refused to attend an event organized by ECOWAS.
The issue of the ECOWAS problem at the moment, which I think need to be resolved. And being the surviving leader or founding fathers of the ECOWAS, I think we had to discuss some of his plan in order to see what can be done to bring the matter under control.
Goan also urged Nigerians to give more time to the President Bola Tinubu-led administration towards resolving the various challenges confronting the country. He added that it is too early in the lives of this government to begin to resolve all the inherited crises in different sectors.
We've got to, Nigerians have to give the president time to get things really done, and it is too early to sort of say yes, that absolute result, perfect result would be achieved.
Nigerians are currently grappling with high cost of living caused majorly by full subsidy removal and exchange rates unification. On issues of security, a notorious bandit kingpin, popularly called Boderi, who orchestrated kidnappings of Yauri schoolgirls, Greenfield University, and Nigerian Defense Academy attacks, has been killed. Boderi was killed with another kingpin, Bodejo, in an ambush by troops of the 1st Division Nigerian Army. Army spokesperson Major General Onyema Nwachukwu disclosed this in a statement on Thursday. Nwachukwu said the Dru were neutralized with their foot soldiers during troops operations along Bada, Duyawa axis on the Kaduna-Briningwari road. He said troops have embarked on several operations in Briningwari, Igabi, and Giwa local governments to flush out the insurgents from these areas and bring succor to the people. Eleven suspects, including the 32-year-old woman, has been paraded by the Nigerian police force in Delta State for alleged involvement in drug dealings. Parading the suspects in Asaba, the Commissioner of Police Delta Command, Abaniwanda Olufemi, declared war against the sale and use of illicit drugs in the state. He noted that the use of these illicit drugs has a strong connection to the high rate of crime in the society. He said some of the drugs recovered include tramadol, codeine, and other hard drugs. Nigerian soldiers reportedly fired gunshots at the Suleja junction and the Abuja-Katsina Express Road on Thursday morning when hoodlums blocked the road and hijacked trailers loaded with foodstuffs, especially belonging to Dangote Group of Company. One of these eyewitnesses, Al-Hassan Abdullahi, reported that many trailers coming from Abuja and heading to Kaduna with foodstuffs were blocked by hoodlums who burnt tires on the road. He said many bags of assorted foodstuffs, especially rice, were stolen before soldiers arrived on the scene. He said it took interventions of soldiers who arrived at the scene and started firing gunshots in the air to scare the hoodlums away. Over in Lagos, long queues have emerged at the Nigerian National Petroleum Corporation Limited fueling stations amidst the fuel shortage crisis that has hit Nigeria's commercial city. This comes as all private filling stations across the region have shut down operations, exacerbating the situation for local residents and business operators. Victoria Tokolo visited several filling stations in the Keja area of the state. Bring us more report as presented in our studio. The scarcity of fuel has particularly impacted Nigerian business operators who are expressing anger and frustration over filling stations' refusal to sell fuel in handheld containers like gallons, a common method for those buying petrol outside cars and motorcycles. Currently, fuel is being sold exclusively to motorists at a rate of 715 naira and 815 naira per litre, while motorcyclists who rely on their bags for business face a higher price tag of 1,000 naira per litre. The disparity in pricing between those with cars and those with motorbikes has been a point of contention, with many questioning its fairness.
Sorry, I've been here, I would say about 3 to 4 hours now, patiently waiting for my turn to get fuel. And I believe it to get to my turn, I have no choice, so all other activities have been suspended for today.
It's 9:30 now. I got about 700 now for per litre. 700. They are selling only car. Before in the morning, they are selling cake. In the morning, they are selling for cake. Now they are stopping it now.
I bought the rate of 586 naira, and I bought 25,000 naira.
It took me a long time to find this place. Somebody had to call me and tell me that there's somewhere here. Imagine how long I've been riding around looking for fresh bike. Most filling stations are all closed down. So if there was to be an emergency or something is to happen now, how do you survive? Government needs to do something.
Business operators in particular are feeling the pinch as their inability to purchase fuel in containers has severely hampered their ability to operate efficiently.
Not long ago, all of a sudden we woke up and found out there is queue all over the filling station. So I took my car and said because the queue is too long to be in the car. Only for me to get to the NNPC filling station here, and we're told that they're not going to sell it very can.
Yes, around 7. Fully different. You can see keg is lining up, and they are just selling for cars, bicycle, and whatever. And we are here since morning, and they are challenging us that they will not sell for keg. And as for me, I'm a stylist. I cannot bring my generator from my shop and my bike for here. I only have the keg. I don't have a car. I don't have any other thing. So me that is running a business, how am I going to get fuel to run my business today?
Fuel for jerrycan, I use jerrycan, so they are not selling fuel for jerrycan.
With each passing day, the queues seem to grow longer with no immediate solution in sight. Earlier, we had Trust TV Southwest Chief Alade Abiodun to give us an update.
So as we have it in Lagos State, we have the scarcity. The scarcity is biting harder. That is what we are. That's what we are having now. And because every filling station, most of the filling station, most are not selling, and they feel that actually that are dispensing, you have long queues. So and that has led to scarcity. So what we have noticed is that for the NNPC station, they are not selling to those that want to buy maybe in jerrycan.
Okay.
But for the private owners, they're actually selling to them, and and that has brought back the black market.
Okay. Now, I'd like to hear from you personally. What is your assessment of how the situation is being handled? Do you think it's going to somehow get better or worse in the days ahead?
As of today, nobody can speak of a certainty of what is going to happen. We actually saw something like this last week, but within a day or two, those long queue actually disappeared. But this started about 2 days ago, and today is the third day. So now we don't know how long this is going to last. And the unfortunate thing is that most other stations are not selling. Just only few NNPC stations are selling. So that actually put the pressure on the NNPC stations.
But then, would you say, have the authorities weighed in on this so far?
Yes. So one thing that the Lagos State government have done is to actually deploy security operatives to those stations so that they can control traffic, so that it doesn't lead to, you know how Lagos is, and just any little thing can actually cause traffic build up. So the government have decided to say those are last man outside, the police outside, to be able to actually address this one. So I also think that they're also trying to actually monitor what is happening with those private dealers. Why are they not selling? But from those that I've spoken to, they said they are not getting enough supply, that they actually don't have this product as of now.
That was our Lagos chief, Alade Abiodun, with Aisha earlier on the news. Now, more to business. Nigeria's gross domestic product grew averagely by 2.74% in 2023, the National Bureau of Statistics has disclosed. Now, the NBS and the GDP report said the 2023 figure was lower than the 3.10% the economy recorded in 2022. Meanwhile, the report said the economy grew by 3.46% year-on-year in real terms in the fourth quarter of 2023. It said the rate is lower than the 3.52% recorded in the fourth quarter of 2022 and higher than the third quarter of 2023 growth of 2.54%. According to the report, the performance of the GDP in the fourth quarter of 2023 was driven mainly by the services sector, which recorded a growth of 3.98% and contributed 56.55% to the aggregate GDP. The agriculture sector grew by 2.10% from the growth of 2.05% recorded in the fourth quarter of 2022. It said the growth of the industry sector was 3.86%, an improvement from negative 0.94% recorded in the fourth quarter of 2022. The report added that in the quarter under review, aggregate GDP stood at 65.9 trillion naira in nominal terms. All is not well in the nation's ivory tower as 52 federal government-owned universities have no governing councils. Findings show that out of the 52, the councils of 42 were dissolved in July last year, barely 1.5 years to the end of their tenure on July 15th, 2025. The remaining 10 universities, which were established in July 2021, are yet to have councils. The former Minister of Education, Adamu, had inaugurated the 42 governing councils of the federal universities in 2021. The councils were, however, dissolved in July 2023, contrary to the Universities Miscellaneous Provisions Amendment Act 2012. According to reports, this development has forced vice chancellors to act arbitrarily, including awarding of questionable contracts. It was also gathered that the absence of councils has slowed down the recruitment and promotion of lecturers. This is the news update on Trust TV. Up ahead, Katsina community groan over water scarcity. This is the moment we return. Please do stay with us.
The present Kanuri people of Borno, descendants of the Saif Ibn Diyazan from Yemen.
Kanuri is an Arabic word. They said Asluhum Kanuri. Originally, they are like the light.
People living in this area were not only the Kanuri, there were Kanumbus and other tribes, the Tubu. And even among the Kanuri, there were different dialects.
The Kanuris acquired a unique affinity for fine scents from the Arabs. They are renowned for their perfumery skills across northern Nigeria.
Kan ɗinkin hula ya hana mu karatu. Gwanda mun bar ɗinkin hula mun je wajen karatu.
The Kanuris have remained resilient and resolute in their resolve to preserve the legacies of their ancestors through food, art, religion, and commerce.
Welcome back. Thanks for staying with us. A recap of our top stories. Former head of state Yakubu Goan calls for removal of sanctions against Burkina Faso, Mali, Niger Republic. Troops kill mastermind of NDA attack, others. To more news. The Benue State government is assured of its determination to sustain the peace experienced in state through its model which aims to ensure cordial de-radicalization and reintegration of repentant terrorists. The State Commissioner for Information and Security, Usman Tar, disclosed this during a one-day community town hall meeting in Maiduguri with traditional rulers on peace building and reintegration organized by the ministry in collaboration with the British Council and the Peace Ambassador Center for Humanitarian Aid and Empowerment. Tara said the meeting became necessary to chart a way forward for peace, security and development after more than a decade of insurgency. He revealed that the consultations will continue to achieve the overall objectives of promoting peace in the state.
How to secure our vital infrastructure as we are rebuilding, so that the remnants that are attacking our, infrastructure will take care of them. Key recommendation is that the government should look inwards and also consult widely at the grassroots level, and the traditional rulers are the representatives of the people. Top-down approach to governance was discouraged by the town hall meeting. Bottom-up approach to governance was encouraged. So going forward, the government will be speaking more to the grassroots constituencies.
Traditional institution has a mechanism of addressing this. When there are complaint in communities, you go to the Bulama house, the Lawani house, district, and it is resolved. But when you don't have all this structure and you have political interference, that is when you have conflict. So for us, I think it's a good step for us. This recommendation will now take it forward to the next step and then knock at the government's door on how to ensure that the traditional institutions are empowered so that they can be able to discharge their responsibilities.
Move over to Katsina State, where residents of Materzu local government area are groaning acute water shortage following abandonment of semi-urban water supply scheme, which will provide water for public and animals consumption to the area. The water scheme, initiated by Katsina State government in 1994, was faulty for the last few years, throwing residents into serious water scarcity. Abdullah Yamadi visited Materzu town recently and has this for Trust TV News.
This development has left Materzu residents struggling daily to get water for their consumption and other domestic purposes, a situation that inflicted too much pains and hardship on the people. Residents were seen moving from one point to another in search of water, forcing many to patronize local water vendors, though not very healthy for consumption. Because of the water shortage, residents have to wake up early in the morning to fetch water at some private residences, or in the alternative, buy it from the vendors at exorbitant rates. This water supply scheme was faulty for quite a long time now, and residents are seriously suffering. Kindly let the government come to our aid. The state government, we know, is doing its best, and it has been doing a lot to make us happy, but we need more. Some residents said The Matazu semi-urban water supply scheme, which had about 13 functional boreholes in the past, with underground and overhead tanks used to supply water to over 10,000 residents, who are now at the mercy of vendors.
Because as at now, we can pump the water using the electricity, which has its own negative impact on the system, because it's not quite reliable. The electricity is epileptic, and when there is a little situation, you find out there was so many damages in the electrical system. So as such, it needs to be upgraded to a modern system, and a bigger generator with much higher capacity to form all the boreholes at a time is required.
However, Katsina State government, through the Small Towns Water Supply and Sanitation Department, said such projects are expected for upgrade and rehabilitation soon.
Now, the 2024 budget has captured the Matazu project and the Namusa and Entumaki, which are already ongoing. And also, the SAWASH program has identified all the existing 44 water supply scheme under the small town for total upgrade, rehabilitation, and the conversion to solar. So I'm sure this project will also fall in under those two categories.
Residents are hopeful that despite all the challenges they are facing in sourcing water at the moment, one day it will be history, expressing confidence in the Dikko Umaru Ratda's administration, which they described as focused and people's-oriented. Abdullahi Izumayamadi, Trust Television News, Katsina.
The federal government has announced the landing of the 2 Africa submarine cable in Akwa Ibom State. Minister of Communications, Innovation and Digital Economy, Bosun Tijani, in a post on his X, formerly Twitter, said this is a significant milestone that has been delivered with the support of President Bola Tinubu, whose directive to all relevant agencies to support the ease of approvals was critical to the successful landing of this cable in Akwa Ibom, a first for the Niger Delta region. Tijani said the cable landing as well as the one in Lagos are important building blocks in the government's plan to achieve broadband connectivity coverage with the whole country. He said these cables are expected to go live by early 2025. Away from Nigeria, the Prime Minister of the Democratic Republic of Congo, Jean-Michel Sama Lukonde, resigned on Tuesday, triggering the dissolution of his government, the presidency said in a statement. Lukonde handed his resignation to President Felix Tshisekedi 8 days after the validation of his mandate as a national deputy. He plans to join parliament after being elected in the country's December polls as a member of the assembly representing the Kasenga district. It is a legal requirement to the DRC that serving ministers are not members of parliament, which means one has to choose whether to remain a legislator or to quit to remain. In a second statement on Tuesday, the presidency said it had called on Lukonde's government to continue running the country until the formation of a new administration. At least 3 people have been killed and 8 wounded when Palestinian gunmen opened fire at motorists near an Israeli checkpoint occupied East Jerusalem. Israeli police said the attackers took advantage of slow morning traffic on the central highway east of Jerusalem near the Malay Adumim settlement in the occupied West Bank and opened fire with automatic weapons at cars waiting near a checkpoint. A spokesperson said the gunmen were Palestinians but gave no further details. Israeli police said 2 gunmen were killed and a 3rd was arrested. In response to the attack, far-right Israeli Minister of National Security Itamar Ben-Gvir said freedom of movement for Palestinians should be restricted. As hostilities resume this weekend for the women's national teams on the African continent to go to battle for a place in the year's Summer Olympic football tournament in Paris, Super Falcons and SLC return USA striker Ifeoma Onumonu is resolute Nigeria will not miss out of the Olympics for a record fourth time at a stretch. The Super Falcons have not featured in the football tournament of the Olympics in the last 3 editions, with their last appearance being the 2008 Beijing Olympics in South Korea. Speaking on Wednesday evening at the Moshood Abiola National Stadium, Ifeoma assured Nigerians that the Super Falcons will leave nothing to chance in their bid to qualify for this year's Olympics. She said the team is built to go full swing to overcome the opponent and grab one of the available tickets, beginning with the match against the indomitable Lionesses of Cameroon at the Stade de la Unification in Douala this Friday. Nigeria will take on Cameroon in the penultimate round, after which the overall winner in the 2-legged encounter will face off with the winner in the match between South Africa and Tanzania in the 4th and the final round for an automatic ticket to represent Africa at the Paris 2024 Olympics in France. And with that, we've come to the end of the news at this hour. For more, don't forget to follow us on our social media platforms for more news, documentary and programs. I am Chiamaka Nwafo. Thank you for watching.